Hi, everybody. This is Shannon with Shannon's Kitchen, and I'm coming to you on this Thanksgiving Eve. We've had a busy day, but I spent most of it in the kitchen cooking. We have just finished our meal, and it was very good. And we've got ham in there that I didn't show y'all. But what I want to do is I want to talk to y'all about ham and about the importance of cooking it slow. Turkey, there are so many people out there that have trouble cooking turkey. I showed y'all how we stuffed our turkey. I showed you we don't use stuffing in our turkey. We cook a dressing, homemade. This has eggs and all kind of other stuff in it, and it takes a while to cook. And if you're not too careful with that, it can come out too soupy. So it's kind of like a science. With my ham, all I do is I take it and I put it in up, flat face down inside of a bag. I put a stick of butter in there with it on top. And then I fill up, I probably do about maybe a cup or half, maybe about two, or I want to say maybe you can do anywhere between 2 to 3 cups of soda. It doesn't matter what kind of soda as long as you don't use anything like Fanta or Crush. You want to use something like Coke, Dr. Pepper, or Sprite. Okay? You can pour, we usually do about a half a 2 liter on ours. So that's probably about 4 cups of soda. So, you pour it in there, you close the bag up inside the roasting pan, and you poke a hole in it, and you put it in the oven at 350, and you want to cook it for up to 3 hours. We do ours for 2.5, some for 3 hours. It depends on how your oven cooks. But you don't want to ever exceed over 3 hours on a ham, unless it's a whole ham. Ours is only a half. If you're doing a whole ham, you have to go by what the directions say. So, and then you put it in your oven, you leave it alone, let your timer go off, and you're done with it. And then you carve it and you serve it. With a turkey, you want to make sure that you never, ever, and I can't stress this enough, cook a turkey if it's not defrosted all the way through. A turkey will defrost from the outside and then work its way inward. If you ever cook a turkey, you run the risk of it turning out like the Griswold turkey, where it just is dry and tastes horrible, and you're in there sticking it in water trying to rehydrate it to eat it, kind of dry. So always make sure you pull your turkey out a few days in advance so that it's defrosted all the way through. Another thing that you can do also after you've taken your turkey out of the wrapper is to clean it with water. Go through it, clean out the inside. First you'll pull all your gizzards out, and usually all that is in like wrapped up in an already package or whatever, unless you shoot your own turkey and then you have to do that by yourself. But if you buy your turkey from a store, make sure you pull the gizzards out. You don't ever want to cook that in there. A lot of people take those things and they use those to make like a gravy or whatever to go alongside their turkey. I don't use that to make a gravy. I just make my own out of some kind of roux. But anyhow, so to make your turkey very tender, these are some tips that we did today with our turkey, and our turkey turned out really, really tender and juicy, and it always does. I don't think it's been a long time since I've made a dry turkey, and it's because you've learned, and I listen to people, mainly my mom, because she does very good juicy tender turkeys, and she has for years. So I listen to her. And then me and my husband, we get together and we go in there and we'll put a whole onion. We'll cut up a whole onion and we'll like dice it into fours. And we'll shove those in there, and 2 lemons. Pour the juice into the cavity of the turkey. Because lemon, like I told you with the steaks, is a natural meat tenderizer. And that is true when it comes to your turkey, folks. Very true. Then you want to take a can of Swanson's chicken broth. I couldn't find any cans. I had to use box this year. So you're going to have about a half a box, but a whole can of Swanson's chicken broth into, like, you have to turn it up after you've added we put 4 celery stalks inside of ours for seasoning. We'll pour sage in there and some, I put sage in there, a little bit of parsley, and some fresh oregano and and some fresh cilantro. You know, the herbs like you see me cooking on here all the time. Yes, sir. I pulled them off the vine and stuck it in the center and all over underneath in my butter and stuff. Y'all saw me today, and I showed you how to stick the butter up underneath the skin. That keeps your turkey very moist, and it seeps down into the meat, and it seasons it so good. And then we stick a whole stick of butter inside the cavity. Now this is for those of you that want to try new try herbs with your turkey instead of stuffing. To each his own. We don't do stuffing in ours, okay? And I mean, we just don't like it that way. If you like stuffing in your cavity of your turkey, do that. But I'm just teaching you ways to keep your turkey fresh and tender and juicy. So this year, we could not find a bag big enough for our 20-pound turkey because my husband picked out the biggest turkey that was at Kroger. And they were on sale, and we got it at a really good deal. So we used tinfoil for the first time this year, and it turned out so tender and juicy. But like I said, we put fresh oregano and fresh cilantro in there, along with all the other things that I told you just now. And we used a half a box of Swanson's chicken broth. We turned it up, the turkey, where it was sitting on its bottom, and poured a half a box in there. Now, if you don't have boxing, use a whole can. Their cans usually are about this tall, about like that. You can use that to keep your turkey juicy in the center. And then we turned it down, and the whole time, like that, like the last hour it was cooking, I was taking a spoon and basting my turkey over the top, and that made it. I took the tinfoil off, and that made the top of the turkey kind of brown, and it made the skin very crunchy, and the inside very, very tender, very juicy turkey. Very delicious with all those, fresh herbs in there, and all of that lemon juice in there just seeped up through the breast and made it so tender, and the sides as well. So that's what we do for our turkey. Celery is a must. We take the celery and we cut the ends off and we stick them in there long stalk, and they were so good. We used to do about 4 stalks in there. But I think that's about it on the turkey. And the green bean casserole. Okay, so you take your green beans from the produce section. I want to say I probably used about 2 pounds. Pound and a half. Yeah, it was about a pound and a half. Excuse me, of fresh green beans from my produce section at my market that I go to. Cut all of them in half, cut the ends off, put them in there. First of all, I put took a whole stick of butter and cut it up around the bottom, and then I added my French dried onions. Okay, French's dried onions to the bottom, like a half a bottle, They come in these boxes with a lid, and I used a half for the bottom, and then I added my green beans. But first, while I did that, I cut up a whole onion, and I put butter in the pan with it. No olive oil, because olive oil has a taste, and I didn't want that in my green beans. So no, contrary to what you all believe, I don't use olive oil on everything. But anyhow, so I put a whole onion diced up in in butter with salt and pepper. And I think I added the drippings from some bacon that I cooked. And also some drippings from the turkey as it was cooking. I was putting it in there. And then I put my green beans in there, and then I mixed a little bit of the French's onions with my green beans and my cream of mushroom soup. It only takes 1 can. Not a very big can either, just 1. And I mixed it all together. And then I added the rest of my French's onions on top and put it in my oven for 25 minutes. And then got it out and stirred it up. So delicious. and the green beans were still kind of crunchy. So it was perfect. Our Thanksgiving dinner was great. We spent great time with my husband's aunt and uncle today and their family, and we had a great time. I know I wasn't feeling very well, but I've been on antibiotics for a few days, so I wasn't contagious. So I went anyways. I was just going to stay home, but my family wanted me with them. So I went. It was a bit stressful, but we had a great time. And I go back to work on Tuesday. So it was great. It's been great being home with my family this week and being able to cook for you guys and show you new tips and things. Now I know I've been saying but for weeks I've been going making this baked apples or these baked cinnamon apples. I'm gonna do it, but it's gonna be probably sometime this weekend. I'm not gonna tell you what I'm gonna post. I'm just gonna do it just like I did today. And so I may even be doing some things for on here for Christmas. Not sure yet. But anyhow, I'm gonna let you guys go because I'm full and tired, and I've been going since 9 o'clock this morning. And I was up late cooking last night. So right now, my 6-year-old is passed out on a turkey drunk, I guess you would call it. But anyhow, we had a great Thanksgiving, and I hope you guys did too. So, from my family to yours, this is Shannon with Shannon's Kitchen saying Happy Thanksgiving. See ya. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. Good night.